What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Legion on Zoom, as per usual and such and whatnot and so forth. It's Chuz.
And I'm Miguel.
And I'm Rod. What's up?
Well, guys, fucking some interesting shit going on. Hashtag diversity in comics. There's a lot of fucking interesting things. One of them mainly being that I'm actually surprised. So, Batgirl and Zatanna features are being developed for HBOMax. Like, this shit is turning into like a way higher budget version of the CW, and I like it.
Well, yeah, word. And we reported on the Batgirl, right? Because Joss Whedon was attached to a Batgirl project, and I guess this is the legacy of that project. But I'm really curious that we speculated before as to like whether or not it's part of the Battinson universe and yada yada.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm down for whatever at this point. She's a cool character. And quick aside, I'm currently watching Batman Sub-Zero because I'm doing a deep dive back into the animated series.
Nice.
That was the second movie that also had a theatrical release.
Throwback.
And she's a spotlight in that movie. So yeah, anyway, long story, I'm a big Barbara fan, so I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yeah. That's my only thing is I'm glad that we mentioned it before, exactly. And I'm hoping HBO Max does really become, because we're still waiting to see, I think, proper HBO Max shows, right? But obviously, come on, it's HBO. Like we at least, in the shows that they took, right, which was Doom Patrol, and Titans are good production value shows. So we're hoping these new shows happen like this. And with the Batgirl stuff, hearing about actually the rumors that, right, it might be within the Battinson universe. So they're saying that there's going to be a good chance that maybe this Batgirl is going to be like a black Batgirl, right? Because in that universe, Commissioner Gordon is black. That dope actor from Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. What's the other show?
Westworld.
Westworld. Yes.
Yeah. How does it feel?
He was also Peoples in Shaft, starring Samuel L. Jackson and
Deep cut.
Christian Bale. where Christian Bale played like a Donald Trump-esque character, and I wouldn't be shocked if that's who he was mimicking. Anyway.
Damn, even back then, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, bro.
That's epic. Shit, man.
We should know that guy's name. I'll just throw it up here in the little narrative box. There you go. That guy. We love him.
Shout out to that guy. One thing I've been thinking about is like, and I know I've said it before, I love DC, but like there's a slight touch of what would be the correct word? Resentment within that love, because it's almost a bit confusing for people that are getting into it now, because they play with the multiverse too much, in my opinion, now. Because there's gonna be a Batgirl on the CW.
You shut your mouth.
There's gonna be a Batgirl on HBO Max, and it's like they could just do whatever they want, which I've said before, and then just say like, "Oh, it's the multiverse." Like, God, like it's so confusing. You know what I mean? For us, it's like we understand, like, yeah, it's the multiverse, and somehow they try to justify it with a crisis every now and then that involves all these people somehow. But it's like, damn, bro, it's like there's so many versions of the same thing, and it's different at the same time.
She may or may not coincide with the actress that's joining Titan season 3 as a Oracle.
You see what I'm saying?
Oracle-esque Barbara Gordon.
Right.
So
right.
Shout out. Now give me all the multi versions. I'm down.
I'm down for that too. Like I'm down for the multiverse. I like I mentioned, like I'm a fan of continuity, but I feel, I've said this before, you have to earn it. And so I feel like I'd rather than focus on giving me a good product, and if it was a good show, good movie, let's expand on it, right? And if that then leads to multiverse type stories, right? Because we have like, an awesome Joker from Joaquin Phoenix, and if they want to expand that, I'm all for it. Right, but if the Battinson Batman is awesome, expand that, whatever. You don't have to force them together. The thing I don't want is like kind of like what you were saying, Ches, like, because in the comic books, though, means DC notoriously had to do the crises and the multiverse stuff to try to fix the inconsistent narratives, right? And so, like, I don't want that to be the case, like, for the films where they're doing it to fix shit, right? Rather than generally not naturally happening because they're making good stories and that kind of stuff, But we'll see.
Yeah, word. And I do want to correct myself because I think I said that there was a Batgirl in the CW. That would be Batwoman.
Right.
But still, the fact
Yeah.
that there's more than one Barbara Gordon
I thought you
within.
were referring to the Titans one coming up or some shit. Because
No, yeah.
although that's not CW, I'm hoping that Titans kind of is like the in between CW and whatever we're gonna get from HBO Max.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that you brought it up though, because that makes an even better point. Because I guess I got lost in my round some Alex Jones shit. And of course, a quick shout out to Alex Jones.
Oh, what? No, boo.
I mean,
Why?
Anyway,
he's crazy but epic.
he did right. He did wrote a tank one, so that's kind of cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's fucking nuts, like not in a good way, but you can't deny that the dude is epic. But
Actually,
anyway,
speaking of the multiverse stuff, not to get too much into it right now, just because you mentioned it, is like I think that's kind of happening. We mentioned a little bit that DC comic books actually are doing it again now. Like we did our review, which was the first episode of the season of the Dark Knight's Death Metal, which was all about the multiverse and how it ended, in which I mentioned I'm not a big fan of. And now with the way the multiverse is after that, they have this big initiative called Infinite Frontier, which is supposed to be in a way replacing Rebirth, which was an honest, good attempt to, bring a nice narrative back and continuity connecting stuff. And whereas in Infinite Frontier it seems to be a hot mess. I'm not going to spoil anything other than just say that for Infinite Frontier, what it means with also the multiverse is that everything that's ever happened counts, and it's all within the same continuity.
what?
Just wrap your head. No,
Sold.
No, stop it.
And also, shout out to the name is really cool. I think I mentioned this on our own group chat, but I like that. That's cool.
Also, the same thing I said in our
It's
group chat.
Yeah.
I don't think the name makes sense.
What isn't like the
Discuss.
universe an infinite frontier?
Nah,
on
but
some
can-
Star Trek shit.
But can a frontier be infinite?
But isn't the
though?
universe
Like,
infinite or some shit?
Yeah,
Right.
but like,
And in the
be-
multiverse, then it's
but-
like
no, but that's the
infinity
thing.
times
in
infinity?
its infinity, is it a frontier once you're like in it? You know what I mean?
Cue Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Facts. Facts.
We need him right now.
No, but one thing I was gonna say is real quick that, for example, so now on HBO Max, and they're not gonna have to explain it. There's gonna be 2 Barbara Gordons.
Yeah, but why is that a problem?
I demand
Give
satisfaction.
me more.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
We might get an animated one too if they do that Batman The Adventures Continues. Oh, I'm down for that. Give me all the Batmans.
Yes, and speaking of animated, just don't give me the animated Batgirl from The Killing Joke. I didn't love that one because she like hooked up with fucking Batman. They had sex on the rooftop.
Facts.
Which
I'm
was,
against that.
like weird because she's like young enough to be like his daughter, right? And she was hooking up with Dick Grayson, which is his son in a way, and it's like this weird incestual shit. Like,
bro, that's a fucking I don't know.
And then
Pornhub
of course, in like the 3 Jokers. And then in the 3 Jokers, talking about a Pornhub search, you have her when she kisses Jason Todd. So it's like,
okay. Let's flip this real quick, okay? Those are all dime piece men. She's a
Facts.
boss.
Facts.
She's a boss.
Facts.
I mean, you could
Facts.
easily flip that because, like, we were talking about in our own personal conversation about Dick Grayson, right? Like how, although on the surface he seems like a prime candidate to be gay, like to be one of these characters to represent that whatever. But in the comic books, he's pretty much like a womanizer, right? Like he's been with several. He's been with Starfire, Batgirl, Wonder Girl, all this shit. I like how y'all smirked.
Just seeing you struggle.
I don't know how to. Yo, you gotta be
Community.
I don't want to get canceled.
Yeah, he was
trying
to be the
3 times already
to represent the community. That's all. Yeah,
like,
bro.
Always default to the word community.
Bro, I got tally marks on all the times I get canceled. I'm almost in the lead. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes.
I will say that I'll take advantage of that because Rod's mentioning this from the conversation that we had offline in our chat from, I hope everybody listening right now, especially all of you in India, because we know you listen to us,
Word, we love you guys.
Give us a shout out, send us a message, but follow us on Instagram. We have at Legion on Zoom on Instagram, where we just recently posted this big news from DC about like for Pride Month in June, they're gonna have big anthology. There's this, which is called DC Pride, an 80-page anthology that's going to focus on all the LGBTQIA plus. I think that's the whole thing now. Characters within the DC universe, and actually also written, I think, by members of the community. So that's going to be cool. But obviously, they also have a bunch of covers all over. Like, and there's this great shot by Bruno Redondo of Nightwing, balancing on a pole, and the pole has a flag, like one of the rainbow flag.
Yeah, I'll throw that up now. Actually, I haven't seen it, but I'm curious.
Yeah, that show was epic. I liked it. It was awesome. And just, I'm glad that you brought up those images because I want to do some quick fan shaming. Us being of the world of comics and geekdom, I guess you can say, for lack of a better term, and so on and so forth, in pop culture and whatnot. Fans out there, people that comment on the internet, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why would you comment shit like these characters shouldn't be holding up those flags? They shouldn't be like trying to stand up for that community. People, like, how much fucking time do you have on your hands? Do something better. Like, what's wrong with these characters? Like, trying to represent a community that's usually oppressed and alienated by one too many people in the first place. Like, what the fuck?
Actually,
okay, that's it.
Building off of that, actually, because that's actually, so we actually haven't talked about this. Would be within the section. We're in the news section right now, and so this would be news. Actually, we haven't talked about, because actually, speaking of that, there was a lot of hate that came online a few weeks ago or 2 weeks ago when they announced that Alan Scott, the OG Green Lantern from the Justice Society, is gay. He came out as gay in I think it was that Infinite Frontier book 0. There was like this one book that's like kind of like Rebirth kind of thing tried to do, but I heard it was terrible. It had a couple of good stories or something. I didn't read it, but the point is that Alan Scott is gay. The internet blew up saying like, how could that be? Like, he was married, like he loved his wife, like that's impossible because that's never happened before.
Wait, I need to chime in here. I gotta chime in.
Do it.
Actually, like this character was already made gay in the New 52, so this is kind of old news. Like that, and that's a great arc. That's by Nicola Scott and Robinson.
And I'm pretty sure that some of the people that reacted bad the first
I reread
time
that one. That's also where they introduced Val Zod, I think his name is.
But apparently the fans were giving shit, but that's a parallel, because that's like what Earth 2 Alan Scott, no? And now people are like, no, this is the Justice Society, the one that people, not them, they didn't grow up with this, but it's like, the classic Alan Scott, that from the official DC universe.
Right, which makes sense because if everything counts and everything is continuity.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And hey,
whatever.
Like, it's a simple fucking concept. This is the Justice Society of America. In American society, there's some people that are gay. It makes
and
fucking
also we gotta
sense.
be careful with not like listening to the haters too much because some people are just gonna hate to hate.
No, but at the same time, it's kind of like just every once in a while, you just have to call out the elephant in the room. Is like, dude, really? Like, you have time to hate? Think about that for a second.
Yeah, word.
Like,
society, bro.
Word,
Society's
like, you have time to get on your phone, look at these amazing drawings, and the first thing you need to spew out of your disgusting, stupid fingers is hatred. Like, what's wrong with you? Just appreciate the art. Appreciate the community.
Showered.
Yeah, like, what is wrong with you people?
They probably got, like Dorito crumbs on their chest and shit.
Yeah, word. The one thing though that I did notice on the actual DC Insta page with those images, and it was a very good point. I didn't see John Constantine there, and he's famously bi. And in some cases, even guilty of bestiality, if you would consider King Shark.
Right. No, but he's listed in the liner notes as like he's a part of that DC Pride anthology book.
He just dubbed taking the pictures like, nah, I'm good.
I guess he wasn't in the cover. He wasn't on the cover. Then I guess
it's not his thing. That like it could be written off as that.
Yeah.
Like,
just to come back to it, and he has that relationship with Zatanna, who is also getting her own movie. Just to bring it back. And
it's a movie.
There was rumors of Guillermo del Toro doing a Justice League Dark. I know that's still a project that they want to either do in movie format or a show. But I hope that maybe, just maybe, this Zatanna movie is a setup for what's gonna become, you know, like in Defender style, like, you know, do Zatanna first, then do well. John Constantine is gonna appear in the Netflix Sandman show, but again, the multiverse. So they have to have their own John Constantine. You have to, right?
And especially with
Hashtag Matt
Constantine, he's like fluid throughout like the cosmos in a way, I guess, you know.
Word. I'm looking forward to who they cast. Although the Netflix casted the guy whose name we never remember from the Kingsman, right?
Right. Egan Churchern or something like that, right? Like
that guy
that
who
guy.
who did the Audible. But yeah, anyway, I hope it's a setup for Justice League movie or a show, a series.
Actually, that's another news we do have to mention. Like related to that, I saw a lot on the news that you're right. They cast him for the for Constantine in the Sandman Netflix universe, but apparently DC, and I think it's with HBOMax, are looking to do a Constantine show, and they're looking they're trying to cast Constantine or Constantine. And
that's right.
And apparently they were saying that they're looking, they may not have him be, if he's British, he might not be white though, that they're looking for and I quote, it said like a Riz Ahmed type character looking actor. And Riz Ahmed, if you don't know him, he was best known for the recent movie that came out, The Sound of Metal, where he's a drummer that loses his hearing, and it's a great movie. And he was also in another, I think, I don't know, I don't remember actually, I won't say, I don't know, but I do think he's been in a comic book movie, I just don't know where. But so they're looking for a Constantine actor for a potential show. So what you're saying might be on point, that they might try to build it into a Justice League Dark show a la Defenders.
That'd be really cool. Bring back Swamp Thing, you already got him. That show wasn't bad on the DC app. I really enjoyed the first season.
It was shockingly gory. Yes. Which I enjoyed and I appreciate it, but it was like, damn. And then at the same time is like, all right, once again, DC, hashtag what the fuck DC. They put that show, the full season, having already canceled it. Am I right or wrong? Someone correct me.
No, yeah. They canceled.
By the time that shit aired, they were like, you're all fired.
Actually, bro, I just Googled it right now just to remind. So Riz Ahmed, the guy who said for Sound of Metal, who they want as a Constantine type character, he was in a movie. He was in Venom. He was the villain. He played Riot.
Yes.
The scientist dude.
The guy who says symbiote.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Symbiote.
I still haven't seen Venom.
Don't worry about it.
I gotta check that shit out.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Is there with Shazam. It's one of those like, if you got nothing better to do. And you probably do, right?
I mean,
nothing better to do than just go watch that bullshit.
Yeah.
That goes for both of those movies. But yes.
Yeah. But speaking of movie news, another one that that's been rumored right now. Now moving back to Marvel, the people who've been doing it right from the get-go is there's a rumors that they're looking to make the X-Men films right under the name of The Mutants.
Right. Yo, and I felt a little bit empty this morning when I woke up with no WandaVision. I'm like, yo, what am I gonna do today besides work and things?
Okay, so what you're saying is that you went from not being invested in the show.
It's the only show, bro.
To feeling
famine mentality.
A hole in your soul,
bro. There's nothing. I do gotta watch Lois and Clark though. That is ongoing.
Lois and Clark, that's an old show.
I'm sorry.
That's
Superman and Lois.
I mean,
and you know what? I'm gonna go back and watch Lois.
I was gonna say that means that fans, Rod will be giving us a treatment.
No, I will not. I will not.
Superman and Lois.
Lois and Clark.
Full-time LoZ, I wouldn't mind.
But oh shit, dude, yo, I think I just finished like episode 2 of that show. Just real quick, while we're on the topic, I'm floored, man. That show is amazing. I'm gonna finish episode 3 tonight, dude. That show, I love how they what would be the correct word? Ration out the camera time in between the characters.
Oh, yes. Exactly. I'm loving it too. I haven't seen episode 3 yet either from this week. And exactly, you're right. Because I honestly, I said like at the beginning, I was like, what? He has 2 kids? It's just one. Just be Jonathan, and who cares about them? But no, like I think they're doing a really good job at like, it's not just a Superman show.
Yeah.
You know, it's about his family. It's a family show. It's Superman's family show, and enough. And the characters are interesting enough that like I do want to know what happens to them, right? It's not just about like all right, let's go back to Superman. You know?
Yeah. Dude, like it's so layered, like all the interactions between the characters. I'm starting to like this Lois Lane. Like it's like overall, like I'm like, oh shit, okay. I see you, CW.
Yeah.
It's good shit. It's good
Yeah,
shit.
and if you haven't already listened to episode 7, LoZ and Lois is streaming on all the podcast services and on YouTube.
Facts.
Give us a follow and a like. We need y'all.
Yeah, word.
Yes.
Come on, India.
And word, all of India, we need you. And now continuing on an actually good DC vibe on a word of the Snyder Cut, Blue Beetle, the movie has a new director in the name of Angel Manuel Soto. I try to be as Hispanic as possible while saying that.
Then why didn't you say Angel?
I know. Like
Angel Manuel Soto. There you go.
There you go.
It makes sense. This character, again, a point that we've been pushing in this podcast is that typically if you have a character that's representing diversity, it should be a creator behind that character that's can connect personally to that, that
word.
community. So yeah, I think that this Blue Beetle is relatively new. I think he premiered I think he's a Jeff Johns creation from. Anyway, this version, so. This is like from Infinite Crisis, Infinite Crisis, right?
Is this the same version that's in Young Justice?
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So
remember,
Jaime Reyes.
In Countdown to Infinite Crisis, Ted Kord gets his head blown off by Maxwell Lord.
Damn.
Right. He shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
And that's how it ends. And it's like turning like a dark page on like the DC universe with like Identity Crisis and Countdown to Infinite Crisis.
Yeah.
But yeah. Long story short, I think this character was created by Keith Giffen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I have it right now up on Wikipedia. Keith Giffen, John Rogers, and Cooley Hammer are the creators, and came out on first appearance Infinite Crisis 3.
Holla.
Yeah. Rob knows his shit.
The most information I've gotten on this version of Blue Beetle is from I said it earlier on Young Justice.
Yeah.
Where I mean, even though that's my only real depth in-depth exposure to the character, they do a good job of just giving you the whole background, and then like the backstory with the scarabs, which was totally unexpected. I was like, holy shit. So we're in for I think a really cool alien epic when it comes to that movie. And just I want to backtrack. So technically, by Rod's logic, all Thor movies are supposed to be directed by someone of Scandinavian heritage.
Yeah,
some Viking.
We still gotta check to see if they are, because what's his face? The scientist. Selvig.
Oh yeah.
Isn't his last name Skarsgård?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I do think he is of Nordic background in the show. Yeah.
It's funny. I think this Blue Beetle movie might also be an HBO Max movie, which I wouldn't be mad at. Although we might be seeing movie theaters opening back up soon, I think Mortal Kombat is getting a theatrical release. So I don't know if in your state or country, it's fair game. Go check that out. But yeah, this, and we have Static Shock, a possible Black Batgirl. So it's gonna be a lot of maybe just throw all the diversity characters. I don't know where Zatanna, where she hails from, Romania or some bullshit like that. I don't know.
Call that shit diversity crisis.
And I love that you're saying all the diverse characters. Keep them on the
somewhere. Jeff Johns is crossing their stuff fuck. I can't use this shit.
They got it.
Diversity crisis.
Damn it.
Yeah. Now I'm happy if they go both movies and HBO. Give it everything. I can't wait to go back to the movies. And actually, even with that, when they announced the new Spider-Man movie, the what's it gonna be called? No Way Home. No Way Home. Actually, they made a point in that promo that said only in theaters, December 2021. Fuck, yo,
man.
Where's Black Widow?
Yeah, well, Sony doesn't have their own streaming service yet, right?
Yeah,
so they wouldn't even have a platform.
Sony Plus.
Although, I mean, they could hold now that theaters, they're gonna have shit open up soon. They might just, wait till the summer to release Black Widow. I wouldn't be mad. I'll go to the movies to see that shit too.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I called it. I'm pretty sure the ScarJo was like, "Fuck out of here."
Word.
Straight theaters. The fuck I look like to you.
I think she cares about American citizens. They're employed by movie theaters and snack distributors. She's just a fucking American.
Facts.
The
Facts.
popcorn industry. It's going down.
Facts. The corn. Now the corn industry is alright.
I know you're right.
They
They're
definitely
good.
are.
Yeah,
They're
word.
good.
Bro, they control the government, bro. Yeah, it's funny. One of Michael Pollan's books, he makes the claim that it's possible that like corn is the dominant species on Earth. Right, like we're here to
Damn.
propagate more corn. Anyway, check
What?
out he's a great fucking nutrition, food, science, whatever, foodie writer.
I want to see a
Shout out to
movie.
Michael Pollan.
I want to see a movie about the global domination of corn, directed by Michael Bay.
I'd watch that. Actually, that'd be kind of cool. All right, but we're good with news. There's been a lot of good DC news, and I think other exciting news is that we got Jupiter. So moving actually from Marvel and DC, we actually got some new news for.
Oh wait, hold on, wait. There's other stuff aside from DC and Marvel.
Yes, there is. There is.
Okay.
Nah,
fine.
I'm laughing at how we brought up the mutants, but didn't talk one lick about it. But we did talk about it a little bit last week with the Scarlet Witch theory.
Exactly. For those of you out there who haven't heard, check out our last WandaVision, not a mini-sode pretty much, but sorta, our last one. It's already out. Listen to it on, Spotify and YouTube and everything. But outside of that, right? So besides what we do have from Mark Miller or Millar, I don't remember how to
Miller.
We have
Mark Miller.
That's not the actually appropriate. Yeah.
Again, I apologize
Legacy.
to all three of you.
We have that Jupiter's Legacy first look that's going to come out in Netflix soon. I liked it. I've never read Jupiter's Legacy actually, so I don't know.
Well, you guys have heard me gush about Mark Miller in the past. He, one of my all-time favorite writers, if not my favorite comic book writer. But yeah, and then drawn by Frank Quietly, who's done All-Star Superman, X-Men run with Grant Morrison. I like that in the trailer they kind of took the panel straight from the book, right? They're like playing heavy on that, kind of like how Robert Rodriguez did with Sin City, and maybe even Zack Snyder with Watchmen, just pulling panels like that seems to work a lot of times, and just doing it like you already had the visionary Frank Quietly, put pencil to paper.
It's
why mess with it, right? But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Jupiter's Legacy. Jupiter Circle. It's a whole series by Mark Miller. Really good shit. I think it's on his own imprint as well. Good comic books, and I'm sure he has like a Netflix deal where almost all his shit is gonna go up on there, which might bring me. I got to come back to Netflix. I know I've been hating on it, but they're getting fucking Army of Dead and Jupiter's Legacy. I got to hop back on.
Do it.
Do you wanna give us a bit of some background story on things Jupiter related?
Yeah, what is it about? What's the story about?
Well, all right, it's how do I put it? It's kind of Game of Thrones-esque in that there are powerful families, right?
I'm with it.
And they have children, and then
sold.
Yeah, I'm sold.
Yeah, like it's hard to describe. It's epic superhero shit. but
I mean, like,
what Mark Miller
does,
like. Oh, no, it's modern times. But what Mark Miller does best is showing the interaction between the characters. So, you have your Superman-esque, character, and then you have like, there was once a super team. There's shades of Invincible, like in this. Like, I don't know. I would just say go check it out. It's just epic superhero drama that's on a creator-owned book, so he can, take bigger risks and do whatever he wants. And he's one of the best in the business, honestly.
I just want to go on record and say that you had me at "there are powerful."
Comic book shit, bro. People getting punched in the face and drawn beautifully too. Amazing artwork.
Yo, word. Frank Quietly, dude. Like I'm a big. I honestly, I remember like I think the first time I got exposed to Frank Quietly, I wasn't immediately like a fan until I saw him with Grant Morrison in their Batman run, and it's like, Jesus Christ, his art is just so, because it's great because it's different too, right? It's not traditional type of comic book, looking characters. But it's so fucking good. You know what? I'm gonna actually buy volume 1 of Jupiter's Legacy right now.
Damn.
That's one of the
yo.
last few
air
books.
right now.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's one of the
I was
last
about to say that. That's crazy.
that I actually bought on paper. Like I've like gotten rid of a bunch of my trades and hardcovers, but I haven't got parted with my Mark Miller series yet. I still got all that good shit. Super Crooks,
So much.
Superior,
Yeah.
Nemesis. All this shit is gonna be on Netflix, so these will become fucking regular names at some point.
Yeah, word.
Boom. Purchased.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm gonna read right now. I'm gonna start reading.
Fans, and what you just heard, not live, but on air, was Miguel making a fucking comic book purchase.
Facts.
Fucking
So-
right. Support
support-
the industry.
Facts.
Yo, I gotta
Took
go
the
to
words out of my mouth.
Midtown, man.
Support the industries.
Word.
And you know what's funny? I was gonna mention this earlier that now that things hopefully and just they keep going are starting to get back to normal, I'm starting to realize like the term like the magic of the movies is a real thing, because even though we're getting all this awesome like all this cool stuff here at home being released, it just doesn't feel the same. You know what I mean? Like it's missing a certain, and I hope I'm using the term correctly, je ne sais quoi.
Can we hold off on that sentiment until after next weekend? Because we haven't gotten a big release yet, or have we? Not
Wonder
a big
Woman.
one. Oh, Tenet. Oh, Wonder Woman.
Damn,
that was
bro.
that was supposed to be the big release, but it kind of fell flat. I feel
But
like
I mean, like
Go
at the end,
ahead.
okay, like put it like this though. Like, let's say Snyder hadn't gone through everything he had to go through, right? And the movie got made. It still would have been released in theaters. Like, all right, fine. Like, I'll pose you a question because you just gave me an idea. So I'm gonna ask you: do you think it would have been the same movie being made?
I kind of want to hold off this discussion, but if you want to have it now, I'll have it now.
Right, because I do think I want to mention though, just for the fans, and especially if you're not watching us on YouTube right now, you should turn on to YouTube right now because Rod is talking about this wonderful fucking. It's all fucking blurry. Actually, it's not coming out. Right here.
Yes.
But we got these big
Not
events
good. My
next
address
week.
is on there. That's good. That'll be blurry.
I know, right? Never mind. Yeah, but Rod had these fancy tickets made to inviting us to the Zack Snyder Justice League premiere next week at his place.
And I couldn't be happier. It's the first day of spring, right? And we've had an entire. This is we're falling on the 1 year anniversary of the quarantine, right? We've gone through this crazy year, and nothing feels better for me than to break in like back into the real world via the fucking Snyder Cut with you guys. Like this is gonna be fucking lit. Like we've been vaccinated. Chez, you've already passed through COVID, right? You got all the antibodies.
Spoilers. You got COVID spoilers.
Basically, we're all immune at this point. And there's also that Gina Carano, like, what is this pandemic shit? I don't know what's going anyway. I don't.
No, it's a real thing. Whatever.
Oh my God.
Let me stay.
Take it back. We both work at hospitals. No, we don't.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that a lot of the fans out there, whoever's listening, come on, man, you guys got to get together with your peoples and watch this epic. It's a whole day event. It could even be a 2-day event.
Right.
Like,
right.
Damn, a 2-day event.
Bro, it's 4 hours. And just for the fans listening, as per Zack Snyder himself, the best part to take an intermission is between chapters 4 and 5. Because chapters 5 and 6, and then an epilogue at the end, that kind of is like all one big like chunk. And then you get the beginner chunk. But anyway.
So, like if you're like a weak individual, go ahead and take that advice.
Yeah, take the intermission. Go pee.
Yeah, if you lack character and substance.
Yeah, you got to hold that shit.
Yeah,
and don't eat any more snacks. You probably had enough already, man.
Fuck all that.
Just sitting down, just eating.
Yeah, exactly. And the only time you should take an intermission is to do some fucking push-ups.
We should wear a diaper and just piss.
Damn.
Or you can just hold it. Like
I love how you went from selling like, guys, we're gonna get together again finally, watching something together, and we're gonna be in diaper shitting, man. Like it's like, oh, you had me. And then
that's some South Park shit.
I just want to go to the theater now.
They're playing the RPG and they're just taking shits, eating cheesy poops.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. But yes, we do want to say for people out there, Zack Snyder's Justice League, however you feel about it, you should check it out. It's on HBOMax. It's going to be an event. Watch it. Obviously, watch it as safely as possible. If you're vaccinated, fuck yeah, that's awesome. If you're not, you can still do it. Be safe about it. Hopefully you've been quarantining, minimizing your risk so you can get together with your good close friends, with your quarantine, to go watch this shit.
Cool.
It's
Hashtag
best,
quarantine.
yeah, it's best to watch it
Word.
with people.
Hashtag super quarantine.
Yeah, listen to Miguel. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, facts. And still continuing on this awesome DC energy wave I'm feeling right now, and I just still couldn't be happier because honestly, one of the most epic stories of any comic book character actor there is, John Wesley Shipp's Flash, is gonna appear on Stargirl. So I finally have a reason to watch that show.
Well, and not just his Flash, right? Because we're not saying it's not his Flash, like actually Barry Allen from the '90s show. Yeah. It's gonna be the Jay Garrick, version of his Flash that we saw in the CW Arrowverse Flash show, which is like exactly as you said, like, yo, keep giving this man jobs. I want him on screen. He is wonderful.
Which, if you think about it, isn't that his Flash? He's the first live action portrayal. Well, technically, he's the second live action portrayal because the dude who looks like Armie Hammer before him, what's his name?
The Flash?
No. The dude who the first Jay Garrick that we had that was actually Zoom.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know the actor's name. That epic guy.
Yeah, that epic guy.
Yeah.
He was technically, he was Jay Garrick.
Right.
Yeah, but John Wesley Shipp, he's the first actual Jay Garrick we've ever had. So he's like, yeah, that's his Flash too.
Oh shit!
Wait, Zoom wasn't Jay Garrick,
but he pretended.
He pretended,
yeah. I'm like, wait, what?
Legit, the first thing he said when he appeared was, "I'm Jay Garrick."
Yeah, we were all fooled.
Yeah, no, exactly. For like almost a whole season. Yeah.
And damn, and I enjoyed it, yo. They took at our heartstrings for that. Like, I accepted him as my Jay Garrick. Even though he was like unreasonably young, but it was like, you know what? I'll take it.
Yeah.
But then they hit us with John Wesley Shipp, and my heart was stolen.
Yes.
There's something about him that's just like insanely wholesome. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go back and watch all of Stargirl up until he shows up. But maybe I watch the first 2 or 3 episodes before.
No. Watch Stargirl, dude. Season 1 Stargirl was a great season. I love that show. I think that was really fun. Rod and I talked about it, I think, before on the show. Watch Stargirl. It's just 1 season.
I'm a fan, but seeing as how Chase hasn't watched Titans yet, even though it's fuck, which one is better?
I'm like halfway through the first season.
You kind of got to watch it because it has fucking Saint Jorah. Come on, It has Nightwing in it. You got to watch this shit.
I'm like halfway through the first season. That shit is amazing.
Yeah, but I would say Titan season 1 way better, but better than Stargirl season 1. Titan season 2, I think, is not as good as Stargirl season 1. I think Stargirl season 1 I enjoyed it more. Yeah, like especially towards the end because it got better too as it kept going. Like, and it ended like I was like, fuck yeah, this was fun to watch.
I was always surprised from the visuals just how extremely comic book accurate they made her. Like, oh shit, props. Like they didn't try to alter her look in any way. Yeah, like that was pretty awesome. But that's great. You know, like I'm loving the fact that they still have him out there as Jay Garrick, and he's all up in the multiverse. Hopefully he continues to appear. Shit, it'd be epic if he appeared in Titans or some shit on HBO Max.
I thought you were gonna say the Flash movie.
No, I mean
2022.
That'd be awesome. Like, but I don't think they would do that. I don't know why. They probably justified themselves why it's not a good idea to do that. But that'd be insane. But he might appear in Titans though. You never know.
Dang, yeah, making the jump from TV to the big screen.
Would he be? Well, I mean, technically, Ezra Miller did that already when he appeared on The Flash. So
that's from the big screen to the small screen.
Yeah. But I'm saying,
the reverse jump is rare.
Has it even ever been done?
Well, the small nod to Jarvis in Endgame, who went from the Peggy Carter show. I already mentioned this like 2 episodes ago, but he went from the Peggy Carter show as Jarvis to having a quick scene in Endgame.
Right, but it's like a cameo, like a little quick.
Yeah, but still, it acknowledged television.
Yeah, you're right. Now, I guess we'll wait and see what happens with WandaVision, right? With Monica Rambeau, and that would be the only new character that was introduced, right? Exactly that. We'll see, and I'm assuming we'll see White Vision probably in the movies. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. So, but that could be the only case. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and I still maintain and I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen, that they're somehow gonna use like Monica Rambeau and probably Agent Wu like to go like in between the shows. I have a feeling that that's gonna happen. I have a when does Falcon and the Winter Soldier come out again?
Next week.
Next week, yeah.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
That's gonna be Friday, and then Saturday is all about the Snyder Cut.
Damn, that's a crazy ass weekend,
It's
yo.
lit. I'm taking Friday off.
Actually, speaking of, we're in the news section too. I think we should mention the big Snyder Cut news that apparently there was this huge mistake where
word
Tom and Jerry just dropped like the week before or something on HBO Max, and apparently they made a mistake and they played the first hour of the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League, instead of Tom and Jerry. So some lucky sons of bitches, or I don't know, the person who's watching Tom and Jerry, I don't think is the same person who would watch the Snyder Cut. I don't know.
I don't know.
Listen,
there has to be an intersect.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure like in that population there was someone who understood what was happening immediately and started masturbating.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I thought it was just some bullshit of somebody trying to inflate the Tom and Jerry numbers. Because if you say that, everyone's gonna go, I clicked it. I'm not gonna lie, I clicked on Tom and Jerry looking for that.
And I mean, in my opinion, it was clearly just the powers that be at DC and Warner Brothers being so petty after they've been technically dragged through the mud for like all their background stupidity. They're like, let's fuck Snyder one more time.
Damn.
Or some intern. He's
Let
like,
me think,
bro,
yeah.
I'm gonna put it on Tom and Jerry, bro. Just make sure you start it now, because I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Damn, imagine like he let somebody know, like, I'm doing this for you, baby. Come on, just watch it.
For his boy.
For his boy.
Come on, man, 1 hour, bro.
It's probably like some jerk MCU fan, you know, like one of those people that have OD picked a side in like the Great War and just like, fuck DC, I'm gonna drop this now. Because I mean, think about it. Like, how do you make that mistake? I'm assuming like there's some type of drag and drop sequence or some shit, you know, like to set up the release.
Yeah, obviously it was on purpose.
Like, but it's like that.
I don't know. I can see it being a mistake. I can
No,
see
no.
I'm gonna take
no.
this hour of Zack Snyder's
I can see somebody.
Yeah.
I can see somebody telling the intern, like, is the crappy movie uploaded? Is it yet? Like, what? The crappy movie? Put it up. And they're like, all right. And they just grabbed like whichever shitty movie they had at hand, and they're like, that's the one, right? And then they enter it. Oh,
how
right,
dare you say Tom and Jerry's a crappy movie? You haven't even watched it.
It's like the boss said the crappy movie. He was holding a copy of both and didn't know which ones. It was like, porque no los dos.
Then why wouldn't it have been like 2 hours?
Damn.
Why specifically 1 hour?
Yo, you know there was some dude out there who just sat down and just started recording that shit with his phone.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has the first hour.
Oh my god, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. No, and actually, and I saw it online on Instagram. I did see some, because obviously I'm not a I'm excited for the movie, but I'm obviously not a like Rod, you know, and so I didn't care. I watched some of the clips that were como se dice, leaked from that, and then they immediately were taken down. But they were interesting, the leaks. I'll say that they looked okay.
Do you guys think that maybe like that being leaked in any way contributed to us getting some more revealing teasers and shit by any chance? You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like the closer we've gotten, which of course it makes sense, they've been more relaxed about how they release like the amount of previews we're getting. You know, we're seeing a bit more of Dark Side, or like a lot more of Dark Side, different images. You know what I mean? We're like, I think I saw a clip where they straight up showed, you know, like a Green Lantern in the sky in action at some point.
That was,
you know,
before that was in the Justice League movie, the Whedon one.
Yeah, and spoiler alert too. Jesus,
what?
It's online.
What?
Like, it's not a spoiler.
No, yeah, because those are just the ads that the
it's part of the promotion.
Oh, are they talking about the clips?
No.
I didn't see anything from the release. I wish I would have watched the whole thing like this for an hour without blinking. I would have put toothpicks in my eyes like a Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, I saw stuff. I'm not spoiling shit because I'm a good guy. I got you, Rod. I'm not saying shit.
However, though, considering how notorious your hate for DC and all things Snyder are, how do you feel about what you saw? No spoilers.
No, I'm not.
How
I'm
do
not
you
even
feel?
I'm not even saying I'm not gonna share anything. It looked interesting. I think that's a good neutral response. It could mean I thought I hated it, or I thought I fucking was blown away and loved it. I'm just saying it's interesting because I don't want to give it away. I'm just we'll next week we'll find out, people.
Yeah,
So-
word. It's only a few days away.
There's some politician shit. I may or may not watch it, but after I'm done watching it, I will tell you if I may or may not have liked it.
Exactly.
But I am interested.
Ah,
Jesus Christ.
all right. All right, but we got some good news in, and I think we wanted to now for today to wrap up our show, right? To go into at least just quickly touch base on the actual source of everything we've been talking about, movies and TVs and shows, comic books, right? And talk about some of the things that we've been reading lately on our segment, What's Your Reading?
And speaking of which, I wanted to ask him ago, how does all that Dark Knight's metal shit tie into the like event Leviathan? Because it just seems like back to back, like boom, boom.
Bro, it's DC. It hand wavy. It kind of does. It kind of doesn't. Like it's
there is no tie-in, but there
Right.
is.
Right, because for the fans out there, I was lucky enough to finally read the event Leviathan. So for those of you out there, you've heard us talk about Brian Michael Bendis, amazing writer, long-standing career with Marvel that recently joined DC, right? And he took on the lead to write Superman in Action Comics, which just ended his run, who's going to start Justice League. But one of the biggest things was that he had this event Leviathan, which was this big event that was supposed to be like this spy thriller kind of thing that actually connected him with his longtime collaborator, Alex Maleev, who's a fucking amazing artist who basically did almost all of his Daredevil run, which is fucking great, so reading it like that, it's a spy kind of thriller with Alex Maleev's art. It feels like almost like that old school Daredevil, noir type of work. That being said, it was a little weird reading it because it's like Superman, and it's like I don't think of Superman as like a kind of like a detective and noir kind of thing, and he wasn't
the cloak
necessarily
and dagger shit, like
I don't know, and the premise was cool, so I'll just give a quick recap of the whole idea is, how in the DC universe, right, there's a bunch of spy organizations, no?
Yeah.
Like Spiral, Argus, right, is one too.
Yeah,
And
Argus, Checkmate,
exactly, and like technically Leviathan too, right, which is the League of Assassins, which was run by Talia al Ghul, which I think happened in Batman Incorporated, as we were saying from Frank Quitely and Grant Morrison. That there's all these spy organizations, and also like actually like the stuff where Amanda Waller is involved with, like Task Force X and all.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, and so apparently what happens, all of a sudden one day all of them are destroyed, and apparently they're all like, and Leviathan, this is what happens, like Leviathan is now in charge of all this shit, and he's like, they're taking out all these things, and the big thing is like nobody knows who Leviathan is, and Leviathan, the main person, is one of those villains that's like, I'm doing this for the better of the world. I'll better protect the world. This is good. I'm putting all these spy technology together, all the intel from all these spy organizations, combining it so like they have all the information out there in the world, and so the whole premise, because this is how it starts. That's issue 1.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. And the whole series is about who is this person, who is Leviathan, and what was cool. That was kind of cool because they're like at least for one solid issue, they had Jason Todd. They believed it was Jason Todd, that he was Leviathan because of the methods that they were doing.
Yep, great scene.
What the fuck?
Right? Like, okay, I kind of buy that. I can see that. And ended up not being him, and overall the event, I don't think it was that good. Like it felt kind of like weird, like all of a sudden it's this spy event that all kind of just happened, and I don't know how like it was connecting it all to, and then there's Lois Lane has this random group of spies, or detectives, actually helping find information, and Batman has his detectives, which is kind of cool, but also kind of like, I don't know. And then you know, like you guys don't mind if I spoil it, you know, reveal who Leviathan was, right?
No,
We'll
I
do
read it.
we'll
You
do a
read it, okay.
spoiler alert here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, because that's a big thing, right? That was the whole thing about it, that they're going to reveal who it was. And at the end, when they say who it is, it's Mark Shaw.
Who?
Exactly. I was like, wait,
What?
what? Are we supposed to care? And it's so, which blew me away. So then I had to fucking Google and go deep in Wikipedia. So apparently he was a manhunter. And if you remember, so I only know of the Manhunters from the Green Lantern,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Which was
Yeah,
androids. I didn't know
like
that
the
when
proto lanterns and shit.
I didn't know. I don't know. Like I'm wondering if Rod, if you knew about this, that apparently during one period of the comic book worlds, there were actually humans on Earth like that adopted the Manhunter like kind of look and tried to be like a hero-ish or an anti-hero kind of thing, saying that they're manhunters when they're not
Oh,
actual
right, right.
manhunters.
Like the recent Manhunter, she was big in this
Yes.
book, right?
Yeah,
I forgot her
exactly.
name. Chase or something like that.
I have
Anyway, let me look
no
that
idea.
up.
No, but exactly. I knew nothing about that. Like
Word.
I didn't know the female Manhunter that was one of Batman's detectives. I'm like, who is she? Why is she called Manhunter? Is that related to the cosmic ones from the Green Lantern? And then the big reveal that it's Mark Shaw, who was once a hero called Manhunter, connected to the Manhunter androids from Green Lantern stories. I was like, oh okay, cool. All
Yeah, that
right,
seems
like
Same
really?
way I felt. Yeah, same
Yeah.
way I felt at the end.
that seems like a bit of a reach. It's kind of like, especially after coming of like death metal and all that shit. It's like, damn.
But I think Event Leviathan finished before Death Metal, right? Because
Yeah,
Death Metal's
exactly.
not completely on the app yet, and Leviathan is there in its entirety on the DC app.
Yeah, exactly. I think they were off by, yeah, no, exactly. Leviathan ended quite a bit before it, because that was the other thing that was weird, because I was reading at the same time the Superman and action comic and action comics from Bendis, who have like side stories of Leviathan in it. And then it felt super weird because you could tell all of a sudden then he had to introduce everything that Snyder was doing in the Justice League book, with adding this Martian Manhunter Lex Luthor and his Justice of Doom, that all leads to eventually death metal. And then, you know, and it was just weird all of a sudden. Now Leviathan is with the Justice, the League of Doom, and it's just like, what just happened right now? Okay, I thought this was a detective story, and it's like, oh, okay, now it's back to cosmic space, super powerful people. I don't know. It was just like, oh, and then that ended, and it's like, oh, okay, it's Mark Shaw Manhunter. Cool, great, awesome.
All that for nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me it was good. It was compelling enough that I finished it, but it wasn't compelling enough that I wanted to follow up. Like, okay, he's who? All right, I think I'm done with it. But at the same time, it did give me like some nostalgia just reading Brian Michael Bendis again, because you can definitely see his sensibilities as a writer, especially like you mentioned, he's with Alex Maleev again, so it had that feel, that like Avengers feel. He's trying to bring that grounded sense to the Justice League and all these other characters. And I think for what it for that purpose, it was pretty good, like just as an enjoyable read. But in terms of seeing it as a broader thing that I should follow, nah, not
Yeah,
really.
like exactly. I do recommend it for people out there. If you're a fan of Bendis and if you're a fan of Alex Maleev's art, definitely read it. I think it's like 6 to 8 issues, I think, and
That's
so
pretty short.
they're good. They're entertaining as you read it. You know, the only thing is like it is a pretty big letdown at the end with just like, oh, it's him. And like, because the whole thing is about like, who is Leviathan? And it's ultimately is like, who gives a fuck? It's like this old character from back in the day that nobody
Yeah,
knew. And
you
then
know,
it also just ends too. Like, and then Leviathan isn't destroyed or anything. And it's like, oh, okay. That was it. Okay,
yeah, it
great.
reminds me of like how he remember the Hood in his second
Yes.
run with the Avengers, how like this guy was amassing the Infinity gems, and he was
Yes.
just like some regular crook guy, like a Spider-Man level like crook, and he just had this epic run, and that's what Bendis, does really. I guess on that I'll give it to him. He does that well because I remember enjoying that story. I
Right.
think that was drawn by John Romita too, at least in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
Um,
Ramita Jr.
but
Yeah.
yeah, if you like Bendis, check this out. I do gotta finish the Action Comics, I've never read a really good ongoing Superman. You know, it's not All-Star.
Same.
That's not, Jeff Johns had a pretty good one, but even he left the book after like not that many issues. But yeah, I do love Ivan Rice's art. So, he's doing his Superman, but he's doing Action Comics with Bendis.
Right.
But yes.
No, exactly, and that's the part that, and I liked his Superman run in both books in Superman and Action Comics. I didn't love it, like I don't, because but also I think it's also like I'm mentioning exactly because he had Leviathan and he wanted to do this go back to his roots of detective noir style stories that are suspenseful. But then he's doing this bigger than life character, right? And then he also has to kind of connect the big event, which is Scott Snyder's Justice League stuff with the League of Doom and the multiverse falling apart. And it's like there's too much going on. Like just let Bendis tell his story as he wants. And I feel that would have been better, because then we should talk about this maybe at another time. Because the biggest thing he did for Superman, right, that he ended up removing his secret identity, where Superman came out to the world as Clark Kent.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I was not aware that happened.
Have you read that, Rod?
I don't think I got that far. I don't think I got that far into his book.
All right, that's all out in DC Infinite now, and because that was all over the news a while back, and I finally got to read that run of him revealing himself to the world, and it was a good story. I think it was a good story, beautiful art, like as you're saying with Ivan Reis, but I have my thoughts on it. I'm like, oh no, I guess all right. I guess we'll see what happens with him being like everybody knowing who he is.
Facts. And on that note, ending on a positive note with things that are related to DC, which I always appreciate, I am actually going to go finish episode 3 of Superman and Lois. And dudes, DC, you're super, super messy, but for some reason, I fucking love you. Guys, I love you so much. Always a pleasure. Always an honor. Fans, love you guys. This is Chaz. We are the Legion. Deuces.
Yeah, it's Miguel. Peace.
This is Rod. Peace out.
Bye.